دعا الجيش الجمهوري الأيرلندي إلى إعلان وقف إطلاق النار.
Sinn Féin chief asking IRA for ceasefire.
Emma bugs, Emma scream, and every nightmare and every dream, and the window over your land. So turn me on and take my hand. Watching you, watching me. You don't know you betraying me. Can't find myself lost in your lies. I need to trust myself again. Nothing you can break. I wanna feel the pain. I wanna live again. Nothing's real inside. Deep in my head, don't be afraid. Raising your fears right now. I wanna heal, I wanna feel the pain is real. You wanna leave me alone. All of the future, all of the past. Wasting my time right now. Emma bugs, Emma scream, and every nightmare and every dream, and the window over your land. So turn me on and take my hand. Nothing you can break. I wanna feel the pain. I wanna live again. I wanna heal,
wasting my time right now.
Night fly guy, do. Give your fantasy. Oh. I unmuted. Okay. And I have my headphones on backwards. Okay. It's this kind of day, huh? Okay. Let's... That is left one. Sure enough. Okay. Okay. Right, I should probably start. Oh, yay, thank you. Alrighty. Let me go ahead and... Okay, I think I'm ready. Yeah, let's do it. I should probably, like, appear, though. That's pretty crucial. Let's see, how do I appear in the mortal realm? There we go! Hello, everybody! I am Odyssey of Odyssey, and it's good to see you here. Thank you for the headpads. Since last we caught up, we have a follow from Napalm Hammer, as well as a 55 stream streak from Cobalt Lance. Can we get some love in the chat for our follows and streaks and subs and just Euro Egg with the 10? Oh my gosh, can we get some love in the chat for Euro Egg? Thank you so much for that. We're starting strong apparently. Okay. So first what we're gonna do is update the goal to the next thing. Banui Girl Autumn, yes. I'm gonna be real. I wanted, like, for today's stream, I just wanted my boobs out. Easy as. Okay, this is, yes, that's, no wait, we need to put it in that way. No, it needs to be this one. Yes. Okay, and let's go ahead and spin the wheel. All right, where is it? There it is, okay. Where is wheel? There is wheel. Hello, Timber. All right, let's give it a span. A spin. Oh. Well, is this the one that you would like to do? Bran! Hello, it's been a hot minute. I hope you're doing well. 77 months of subscribing. Can we get some love, serious love in the chat for Bronwyn? Now, should I respin this one, or would you like to see me in a different outfit today? Genuine question. You know, if I hide this choice, technically you have the chance of respin. Okay. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna hide the choice, and that's gonna make everything else that much more likely to appear. Here we go. Oh, so this gives me some practice for this Friday. All right. Oh, why do I have all these text messages? Okay. All right, let me get the timer going. That's calendar. I need clock. Timer. And we're gonna go ahead and... I think I need to bump up the gain for ASMR mode. And I think that should be working. Yeah. 2 minutes of ASMR mode has begun. Thank you for that, Bats. Is this actually working or is it just noisier? It's probably picking up little bits of everything. But yeah, how are y'all doing today? This has been a really good week so far. Thank you, Timber. Honestly, yesterday has been a good start. Doing okay, that's good. Honestly, that's a good place to start. Though I do very much so hope that things get even better for you, Daniel. What have y'all been up to today? I wasn't really able to check in super much yesterday during Portal 2 with Avenel. You hope it does. I hope it does too. Been worse. Want to get some writing done, but my brain is a lit. What tends to help jog your brain, Bronwyn? Do you need certain forms of encouragement? I've been known to be very persuasive. Just saying. Hope you had fun portaling with the kitty bat. I did. She's been my most gamer friend in the most positive way for many years, so it was nice to dive into games like that again. Cool glue factory material. Totally break my SHR2 glue factory. I'm not sure if I understand. I'm not sure if I understand. Is that okay? Jade was taken to a 408. I had to go get blood tests done. Today wasn't fun, but the stream makes it better. Well, that's good. Oh. The timer has just gone off. Okay. We should be... Oh, wait. There we go, there we go. Thank you for that, Bats. Feel free to persuade you. What would be the best thing? Is it a matter of ideas or is it a matter of the drive to start? Had fun being bad. Love ya. I'm just teasing. I tried to play Portal 2 once and did far worse than you did. The thing is, like, I haven't played Portal in a very long time. And watching folks just outright, like, go to the other chat and say that I'm just straight up bad was like, oh, ow, wound, my heart. Okay, that was still beating. You go ahead and take that. Also, 15 stream streak from Timber. Much appreciated. I seem to have come across a device designed for remote head pats. Finally, the technology beyond has evolved beyond only being for the horny. Yeah. Basically, you push a button, I receive head pats. Oh, thank you. Honestly, I feel like horny is... How do I say? It's not that horny is over-catered so much as sweet is under-catered. Head pats and hugs and things like that. I feel like that is an underserved market. Thank you for so many head pats. I'm playing right now one of the hardest Roblox horror games. I see. Yeah, I'm not ready for that, Daniel. I still need to take not tomorrow, like at some point in this upcoming week, I need to figure out a possible Halloween party on the 30th because I've got to do stuff on the 31st. I need to get a pumpkin and like carve it. I haven't had the time. Yeah, October has just breezed by. It has been going by so fast. It's because I have so much going on. It's because I've been so busy with something I'll soon be telling you about. Not today, but in time. I've been so focused on other things in the future that it's been really hard to think about October. Hey Odyssey, just saw your rabbit ears and I think your VTuber model will look good with a Russ from My cosplay. I am not familiar with Russ, but that's very cool. I appreciate that. Venom 3 Last Dance this Thursday. I can't wait to watch it. Oh, I've heard about that. I never did watch Venom 1 or 2, but I've heard good things about... Well, how do I say? The movies definitely have their fans. It's like... I know a lot of people get down on Marvel movies, but the Venom ones in particular seem to have a lot of people that are very stern about defending them in a good way. So clearly they're doing something right. Seems a very similar thing to the Speed Racer movie. Like, you either really got it or you really didn't. I don't consume enough media to really know. Crunchy noises. Sorry. Quick bite. Sonic X Shadow Generations is out for people who pre-ordered it. Dragon Ball Sparking Zero has been popping off, and COD Black Ops 6 is just around the corner. Oh, very cool. I suppose I should have predicted that last one. Venom sadly isn't Marvel since Sony owns the rights to all Spider-Man characters and whatnot. That is fascinating. I could have sworn that No Way Home was supposed to be the split point for Spider-Man characters. When I talk smack, it's almost always in jest. If I'm trying to be mean, I will make it explicitly clear. I will tell you outright. But that's honestly very rare for me. I tend not to be a very venomous person. It happens. What do I think of the new Silent Hill 2 remake? I never even played the original Silent Hill 2. So, I'm not sure if I'd be able to speak with much authority on the remake. A lot of people are playing it, though. Seems like people are enjoying it. I don't tend to play a lot of horror games, so it's rare for me to have much insight. Also, that reminds me, by the way, I'm realizing that this week there hasn't been a lot of spooky content. So, what I thought I would do this week, for those interested, let me grab this week's schedule. Grab it in Shoost specifically. Let's see. Boop-a-doop-a-doo. Where is it? Here it is. So, tomorrow we're spending another day at the beach. Surprise, surprise. You would think that in the middle of October it'd be like cold and bad and it would suck. No, it's actually gonna be like 70. Sorry, that's in Burgers for Eagle. It is slated to be. Let me get the location for that. 73 degrees out. Or rather, that's in Burgers for Eagle. In Celsius, tomorrow will peak at 23. And I figured since I already still had that Audithon reward carried over from last time, I might as well do it before the weather gets too cold, you know? No one likes being cold on the beach, I think. Maybe surfers. Black Ops 6 is coming out the same day as Venom 3. No Way Home was a bridge between Sony and Marvel, but Disney is being a massive butt. Ah, okay. Yeah, so tomorrow is a beach day, and then Friday is one of our ASMR streams. And I'm realizing that it was those or do spooky things. Maybe we can take the last week of October, or maybe the last 2 days of the last week of October to do that. I suppose I could do well, there's not much I really can do. I might have to stream early on Halloween proper, since it has been requested that I be part of some family stuff on Halloween this year. And then what am I on about? And then the first will be the last day of that week will be the first. Talzana with 20 months of subscribing. Time does fly indeed. Can we get some love in the chat for Talzana? Bless and thank you for being a part of the oddities for the last 20 months. Very much appreciated. Can we get some serious love in the chat for Talzana? I would do the emotes thing, but honestly, you know the drill. You know the drill. I don't know, like, I've been really bad about consuming media, and I know that sounds very, like, why would that be a problem? It's hard to know what to talk about, because I'm not up to date. I'm not culturally literate, because I'm not consuming what people are doing in the here and now, outside of, Eurobeat and VTubers. If I don't leave my current spheres, or expand my current spheres, I end up with very little to discuss. I don't know. The problem with keeping one's head down, I suppose. Both are being massive butt. News about Disney CEO only wanting DEI movies and whatnot, and sadly Marvel is stuck in the middle. What is DEI? Am I mixing that up with the like outdoors stuff collective? like, I think I'm getting it mixed up with another company thing, but I don't know what DEI is. DEI is the new term for scare woke, diversity, equity, and inclusion. Oh, huh. So wait. Both are being massive, but aka businesses learning how to be better behaved. That explains why I've seen that term around. So I've seen it floating around from time to time, but I never really prompted, myself to look. So you aren't as online as me. I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say that. One, I have crappy memory, and two, I am terminally online. It's just in the wrong spots. I don't know. I've had my head down so much lately that it's like, what is this DEI that the gamers are so scared of? I don't know. On the one hand, it's good for not making bad stuff and giving us more diverse characters. On the other hand, a lot of what's been produced as a result isn't heartfelt. I could also see, how do I say? I hate to say it this way, but I could see if tokenism wasn't already bad before, like throwing in a haphazard, like poorly designed character that's like, there, we got that covered. It's a right-wing grifter buzzword, basically. The word I'm thinking of, goodness, what is it? I could see folks throwing. Basically, it's like, yeah, I see what happened when we did this. Pixie, hello! Good to see you. I hope you're doing well today. I could see folks making a point of like, oh, see how bad the movies have been ever since. It's like, yeah, y'all threw. You went out of your way to make things bad because you didn't want to have your hand held to actually making decent characters. Don't get me wrong, there's plenty of criticism to be thrown at Disney for having their 18th first gay couple kiss in the background of the new movie. That's fair. I haven't watched a lot of movies lately, so like, okay, one thing I don't understand, and I'm not sure if this is something that y'all can, thank you for that, Bats. I'm not sure if this is something that y'all can explain to me. I keep seeing news about big movies with big ads and big spend, being these big projects and getting like 3 ticket sales. And I mean, on the one hand, it sounds like spending at movie studios is getting excessive, and we're right back into the era of spectacle where it was like, oh, just throw all the money and all the things at what you want to do. But you would think that there would be some good movies that come through properly. It sounds like The Producers is real now. Oh gosh. Merciful Lord, beautiful Savior. I want that money! Some Mel Brooks content has not aged very well. Ooh, gee golly jeepers. Itchy. What was I about to say? Right, so it seems like a lot of movies will have a lot of big spend and assume that it'll do well. And it's not like the movies that are coming out and flopping are inherently bad. It feels like there's a lot of assumption. Oh, thank you for that, Bats. There's a lot of assumption that it will do really, really well, and for some reason, people just aren't going out to movies on the same level. Is there something I'm missing with that? Like, is it a mystery to moviegoers as much as movie producers, or is there some big thing that like studios are oblivious that I might also be oblivious? I've kind of gotten to a point where unless a movie is linked to an anime, I probably won't watch it very quickly personally. I think the thing for me is there are very few, like I said, I've kind of been, a lot of the content that I'll consume is VTubers and YouTubers and music. And it's not that movies seem bad at all. I enjoy going to the theater. I enjoy watching a movie. I guess my attention is just so utterly botched lately, and my time management is so poor that I don't go out of my way to make time for that. Marvel and Godzilla for me. I've heard good stuff about some of the last recent, like, Godzilla movies. I don't know, I guess just nowadays, movies aren't how I want to spend my time. I will say, I've been getting more and more into producing again. And that sounds silly, right? Like, haven't I been doing that this whole time? Not nearly as much as I should have been. I have a lot of client work again, but they're starting to get back on things. And now I have more to do. I think the biggest reason is studios chasing the next big things. They put out these huge expensive CGI things trying to be the next MCU, and then most of them just aren't good. I feel like spend isn't in and of itself the answer to catching people's attention. You would think that the lessons of Hollywood's past would have emphasized that. As well as indie successes, you know, like smaller budget events that do well. Like, even when I think about what has become popular, even has become a movie recently in its own right, Five Nights at Freddy's started as like a cheap indie game, consisting of a few PNG panels and some borked stock sound effects. Like, I think studios are trying to throw money at understanding what's in with the in crowd, you know? And that's not how you do it. And actually, it's kind of ironic because it's kind of leaning into why I am out of touch. If they had eyes and ears on the ground with the average consumer, a little bit more than they already do, and could remove their biases for a second, or even whatever, how do I say? If whoever is in charge of being a yes man to whoever is funding things could grow a spine and be like, no, take the money. If we're going to work on this, we're going to do it right, and it's not what you think it is. I think with more of that, we could end up with some films and properties that end up good. I mean, think about it. People were kind of crapping on the first Sonic movie when that came out, and some of it was for valid reasons. You know, the designs were not good. But by the second movie, people were like, oh, yeah, let's go. And the Mario movie, people were waiting. Yeah, the folks that worked on the first movie got fired. And then I'm not sure if the same fate happened to the folks that worked on the second movie, which is not good. That is not sustainable. By the way, I try not to jump right into profanity, but I think this needs to be said for the Hollywood movie industry, for animation, for music, for any amount of high-budget content creation, and no other word will suffice. So please do forgive me if you're easily offended by vocabulary. I'll give you all 5 seconds before I say what I need to say. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Fuck generative AI. Fuck studio usage of generative AI. Fuck its implementation. Fuck the mass firings that happened on it. And shame on the individuals that have gone out of their way so quickly to use it to replace good workers that do good work. Because it's amazing. I think the first few movies that have had AI guidance have been released in the last few years, and it's fascinating to see the effect. I'm starting to wonder if, because studio chat oddities. Oh, thank you. I have nothing to base this on, and I could be completely wrong. And I hope I'm wrong, if anything. But bear with me on this. What if movies are starting to suck and not get audiences? Because instead of using the good work of actual human beings that know how to write to actual human beings, they've been using AI. And not enough course correction from actual people to make it any good. AI was never meant to be abused the way it is. It should just be used as a guidance tool, and it's sickening how common it is. I think it should be discarded entirely now. Real quick, I've been given a very important redemption. Pian pian! Pian pian! Okay. There we are. But that's the thing, like, I despise how the instant response to generative AI becoming a thing was, okay, how can we completely replace those that have made our content good? Drew, hello! AI doesn't resonate with people the way actual humans writing scripts and stories do. Bingo! Exactly. Because think about this. Words are kind of killing me here, but of course people aren't going to resonate with characters that aren't human. That when the writing is uncanny, the acting becomes uncanny. And trying to add spectacle around that just emphasizes the uncanniness of it. And even if it ends up warping into some other feeling, it's not a good one. It's not going to warp in terms of affection. It's going to warp in terms of distaste and disgust. They're spending all this money. They're spending more money on movies now, but they're putting it in the cheapest approach. They are throwing billions of dollars on cutting corners. Again, conspiracy theory. I'm not actually informed on this. I could be completely wrong. But I'm starting to wonder if those might be connected. Why settle for great when cheaper and good can do? Actually, I'm not even sure if the AI implementation at these things is that cheap. I wonder if they're actually spending huge amounts of money for a robot to generate C+ work when they were ready to lay off entire teams of folks that did B- at worst. You know? That's my theory on it. I fully think we're gonna see a generative AI crash that's gonna pretty much kill the tech, lol. Toy Story 2 was right, you can't rush art. Bingo. And worse, you can't reduce its value. I think we're seeing a point, we're seeing a critical point where money, investment, and those who actively seek to reduce culture to sheer money are finding the limit to what they can squash creativity into. There comes a point, you know, consider the value of the average song, the average album, the average wax or vinyl album, becoming the CD, becoming the MP3. And don't get me wrong, affordability is important. And I do think that $1 per track has its issues. But I think, you know, a certain amount of exchange is necessary, right? And I also make a lot of free things because to some extent I cannot fight free. The most that I can do is encourage expense after you've tried it for free. But there comes a point you cannot force total free. And you cannot force pure machinery. What I mean by that is this. Machines will never be able to accurately replicate the passion of a human being. I've been on this tangent before, especially with Eurobeat. The joke that I made with Eurobeat was that machines will never be horny enough to make Eurobeat. And being horny is a form of passion. Let's be real here. Why do you think the Italians excel at it? Okay, that was a really crappy way to put that. I am very much Sicilian. Like, the issue is, like, AI will never be able to replicate that. That phrasing that I used was very poor, and I do apologize. A lot of good stuff gets the plug pulled early. One exec snap decision killed the Owl House, and it was incredibly heartfelt with amazing characterization. Just all around good show. When they later realized they had a hit, they were kicking themselves. They didn't even make merch afterwards. It's like they're ashamed of their failure to the point where they don't want more money. Fair enough, fair enough. So for good music, AI needs to be... No. And by the way, I don't think AI ever could be. Here's the thing. AI can only do what it's been told to do by a human in the first place. It can only know what horny is, what passionate is, by machine. And the entire nature of passion is not programmable. At least not in terms of its core. You could program physical reactions, quote unquote. You could program, like, I don't know, heart rate increase, mental intensity plus 10% or whatever. You could do that. But that's only so much that you could do before it's just a really accurate imitation. And even then, it's going to fall short. Because it's going to lack that human element. It makes me miss the days when 5+ years ago, AI was much less popular, less sophisticated, and not seeming like it'll replace humanity itself someday. So here's the thing. Back in its infancy, the AI stuff that we were seeing was, it was broken. It was clearly not there yet. It was not useful to the capacity of replacing human work. And a child Skynet, basically. This is why I put AI in scare quotes, because like when I think of an actual intelligence, I think of a dog or a crow teaching it tricks. Current AI can't even manage that. And I mean, artificial intelligence has existed outside of generative AI. I believe there was a scholar, an engineer, that called it a oh gosh, what's the word? A plagiarism engine. And I think that works pretty well. But think about it. It's because they don't want to bother like asking customers what they want. They want to put out what they think will do. And they're so used to people just eating it up that they've assumed that whatever they do in that light will be enough. And they're starting to bump into that. I don't think audiences want the kinds of movies that are generated by AI. The novelty can exist, but the actual execution, I think, is not there yet. The actual execution, that we're not able to connect with it because it's not inherently human. The only thing I want AI for is drones for space travel and record and analyze space and stars. Beyond that, AI. So here's the thing. That is objective artificial intelligence. That's like using... That's essentially like... What's the word I'm looking for? That kind of thing has existed for some time, and that is actually quite useful. That is proper robots. People are going to have to come up with a new term for meaningfully artificial agents because AI is just going to make everyone think of the mediocre neural networks from now on. Sadly, yeah, there's going to need to be a cultural shift in the term. Something will need to latch on with popular culture to replace AI as that term for things that are not generative. And on the same token, when you have people that are in charge of a creative venture and they refuse to absorb external things, and this is kind of where I'm bringing it back to what I was talking about earlier with my not taking in movies and, you know, kind of not being culturally literate. When they don't want to take the time to do that, they're going to reach to cut corners, and they're going to fail to understand what brings people in the here and now into the cinema, into the record stores, or onto their internet stores to buy MP3s or to stream it on Spotify. Goodness, I'm showing my age. AI can only be something in part or as a whole that is an imitation of a secondhand account of something that existed before it. Honestly, very elegantly put. Also, I have had Overdrive on repeat on my DAP for a day and a half. Certified banker. Thank you. I think I did pretty well for tracking a day with that. I as well want to add that AI has very much decreased the true potential some people may have. All people have to do is use their brains and inner creativity, and they can get anywhere if they believe enough. I think the issue is this. Right now, AI is being marketed to consumers as instant gratification. Right now, there's the issue of a lot of students going to ChatGPT and treating it like Google. And ChatGPT is generating straight up lies. Just complete lack of facts, inaccuracies, wrongness. Funnily enough, I used an AI to build an AI for my uni assignment because it's funny. I could see that being unique. Something recursive like that does subvert expectations. Let's see. And I think the thing, Todokawa, the workload of creating, there is the perception of the workload and the reality of that workload. For instance, if/when I do finally start in on Eurobeat 101, what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be grabbing free tools. I'm going to reinstall Cakewalk or something, or what's the new, the Cubase one that's free, and free synths and free samples. I'll have it in a list. It's like, all right, here's what to download, and here's how, get that ready, and we'll use that. It'll be free. Each video will be short and hopefully actionable. And I think the thing is, people are so used to push button receive content that they're not questioning how good the content is. I'll be real, the ChatGPT ruining education thing might actually be good because it's revealing how fundamentally bad our education system is at everything except make students prove they can do pointless busy work. Honestly, a fair point. However, that can only be good if it is, if the response to it is implementing better assignments, less busy work, less hours of homework, and more quality of how they verify that educational stuff, like how they verify the quality of the education itself. And if, oh goodness, I think my leg just cramped. I think we might have a false alarm. We're good. Not enough people understand garbage in, garbage out. Too many people will trust the AI result, even if it's not. Oh, thank you so much for that, buds. Even if it's nonsense based on nonsense. If I may add to that, Jesse. I'm sorry. I swear this was not meant to just be Audi rambles about AI. Nowadays, people are extremely busy. People are struggling to make a living. They're struggling to find a job. They're struggling to make ends meet. So, at some point, they've got to sacrifice something to get from point A to point B. Because if it takes too long to get from point A to point B, they miss this connection, they miss that connection. It becomes a domino effect. So, the idea of having something just done for you is very appealing. I don't know why, but it kind of reminds me of drivers. The difference with a person with a car with no assistance compared to a person learning to drive in a Tesla. Whole day I'm busy, only get few money. I mean, basically. So, for the consumer, it's very appealing because then they don't. It's easy. No need work. Just push button, do, bring. And then if it sucks, it's not. Hopefully, they can wash their hands of it. Oh, it was just what the AI threw at me, I'm just doing my job. I'm just a delivery person. And at some point, we're going to hit a point of diminishing return. Not a point of no return, but a point of diminishing return, where you can only get so good from an AI before it starts to suck. Irreducibly, irrevocably. And at some point, you're going to have to put in the work. You're going to have to put in the time. And in a day and age where people are demanding 25 hours a day. Hello, Mish. Good to see you. I hope you're doing well today. In that kind of time frame, in that kind of mindset, it is very hard to get someone to do the work, to do the time, to do work that's designed to exhaust you at the end of the day to the point where you don't want to do something creative or something that takes work and effort, like painting or drawing or making music or sculpting or dancing or whatever it might be. I feel like I'm not doing that with my hand. Why would someone want to do something that takes work and effort when all they want to do is have much needed rest? Well, there's a few answers. They could be passionate about what they're making. They could find value in the process of creating. They could be hobbyists. They could be all manner of things. But there comes a point where we can only be so, dopamine drained, to where it's like, okay, I just don't have the wherewithal. I don't have it in me to make stuff right now. I'm gonna do a quick hydrate. 1 second. Sorry for the wait. I don't see electric cars being used for everyday use, but I do see them being used for high performance and heavy duty work. The benefits of instant torque make them great for things like long distance hauling or rally racing. Even the selling point of EVs, the range, is perfect for tour buses. Honestly, that's fair. I can never rest. The little dudes I made up demand to have words written about them. Honestly, that's fair. That's kind of how I am with music. I can only put stuff away. And, oh goodness, I've been distracted. Oh my. Oh goodness, I'll need to get back to someone. Let's see. Sorry, I Oops. I hope none of y'all were able to catch what I said. Sorry. Right. Yeah, not gonna lie, Pokechoa, same. It just looks like an N64 card that hasn't finished rendering. I don't know. I actually think Cybertrucks are weirdly cute. The low polygon rat of cars. Isn't getting mileage from a Tesla equal to getting equal price to gas cars? I'm so glad they aren't allowed in my country. Honestly based. There's a police version of the Cybertruck in California now. That does not surprise me. Were you saying... Where are you saying you're... Excuse me. And another hydrate. That I can do. I don't think I was saying that. I was saying stuff about, like, AI and such. Right, so, the trick is... Creatives need to be given the space to actually work. They need to be given the space to create and to not be thrown off the instant that it's, creatives cost money. I gotta pay a writer? What do you mean I gotta pay an animator? Don't they just want to work here? No. They want to work because they want, not just because they like doing what they do and they're good at it, they also want to eat and put a roof over their heads with the labor they provide, for which you have hired them with your money to do a job for you. Just because a job is in high demand does not mean that it should be reduced in value. BRB all bio. Okay, no worries, do what you gotta do. I think I hydrated, did I not? Let me do it again. Right. They can't use it in actual police work, so they spent $50K on a mascot. Oh no. I digress. Oh. Sorry, point is, right now, the fact that businesses that used to depend severely on creatives have to be convinced to actually pay their staff, their creatives, their animators, their artists, their illustrators, their composers, because AI exists. The only way they're going to get the movies that get people back into theaters, the only way they're going to have music that moves people and actually reasonably charts, is to bring people back in. It's probably not fair for me to bring this up, but there's a figure in the Eurobeat world, not necessarily on the creating side of it in and of itself, but in the sphere, whom I actually very much respect. And I still see AI popping up in this creator's work. And it's just disheartening, because here's someone who has done things in the Eurbeat world that are extremely valuable. I worry that if I talk about the work that they've done, that it will out them, and I do not want this individual to experience any kind of hate, any kind of, like, backlash or harm, because I genuinely believe that this person means well and has a very big heart for Eurobeat. It's just... why? I feel like if this individual spoke to independent Eurobeat creators to make the soundtrack for what they're doing, they could have it. They could have the music that they're clearly just wringing out of, it sounds like Suno. It sounds like Suno AI, because it's like, they're finally starting to not have that, like, constantly vocoded sound. But the leads, the intros are all the same. The arrangements are very similar. The kinds of vocal styles are very similar. And it's just, come on, man. I could think of several people that would be more than happy to contribute to this thing that you're making. Just it's not like he can't learn to make stuff himself. I think Eurobeat 101 needs to have not just a list of like free individual samples and patches. I think it may need to have like a selection of loops. Because if it's that much more that can make things easier for people to just get in and actually make something themselves. If it means one step removed from walking over to Suno and pushing the "Daddy, please dispense music" button, it'll be that much better. I can't do it for every genre, but maybe I can do something that does it for the Eurobeat world. And it's not like, Eurobeat 101 is gonna save Eurobeat from the clutches of AI. That's not it at all. But I think it's something that I can do that might be one step in the way between someone and going to a program like that. And I think when people don't know why people are drawn to creativity, when people are drawn to something that a human has made, the humanities, as it were, they lose the sense of why they lose it, essentially. If someone is working in a field like cinema, film, or music, or games, where creativity is paramount, any disconnect from an actual human creator is that much closer to just the most... You're no longer creating a product, you're creating something that is white noise, I think. That's my take on it, at least. In the meantime, how y'all doing? I should really check in with y'all on that. I think I did that hydrate, but I'm gonna do it again. I don't know. Cable management's easy. Oh, I'm sorry. I hope that's going well. I have awful cable management. I have the things for it, and I just don't use it. I think I'm constantly worried that I'll need to reach for something and adjust something and get it out of the cable thing and put it back in the cable thing, that I avoid that process altogether. I was too into your rant. No worries, no worries. I don't know, like, I feel like people have had... Well, I needed that many hydrates. I feel like people have had similar complaints about loops and certain samples in music too. Like, I remember, there's a meme in the music world, or at least like in the last few years. It's like, oh, I wanna make music, but using presets is cheating. So I'm just gonna, use recordings and samples. But actually, samples are cheating, so I'm gonna record everything myself. But using an instrument that you didn't make yourself is cheating, so I'm gonna go ahead and start making my own drums. But just buying a drum kit, is cheating because you didn't make that yourself. So I'm gonna start, I'm gonna get the sheepskin myself. The sheepskin that I just buy from the market is cheating, so I'll raise the sheep myself. I haven't made a single thing of music, what with all the sheep herding and such. But hey, at least I'm not cheating. I think there is a limit. There comes a point where it's like, oh, how far along before you're no longer creating something? And it's a hard conversation to have because there is some subjectivity. Let's see. People just find things to be annoyed with things like that. Instructions unclear, become a shepherd instead of a musician. I came back to shopping hoarding. No worries, no worries. So, the idea is that I understand the irony of some complaints that I have about AI. Generative AI specifically. Because, like, music, any creative field has its things that people will accuse of being cheating. Like presets or samples of a certain length or things like that. Let me do that hydrate. Or MIDIs. And I think for a long time, it was hard to know the middle ground. A lot of people were like, all right, as long as you're doing something, even if you're just tossing a sample and sound design salad, that is still something you made. But we are now coming to a point where people are no longer, they're not adding a single note. They're not adding a single drum beat. They're not even adding a loop. They're not they're not even adding cookie dough to the tray to bake. If that makes sense. Like, if we, a bad analogy that I would have, if people imply that, would that mean that the art I make counts as cheating because I use a game I never made and cars I never got the rights to? Oh, no, by the way, Daniel, for the record, I agree. I don't think that what you're doing is cheating. I think that is still valid. There is still creative work being done with that, because if you're doing pictures, you still had a say in the angle and the lighting. Photography is art, by the way. There is composition, there is arrangement, the elements of art are present in photography. And certain elements of art, to some extent, I guess in terms of sound, are present in music, obviously. And even if, how do I say? I will always have more respect for someone who says, hey, this is generic garbage, I can make that. And someone goes, okay, great, then do it. They try, and of course they fail. But at the very least, they were willing to get their hands dirty. They were able to start understanding what that process is. Even if they create some crappy, GarageBand loop salad. I'm really about salad these days. If that's if they're doing that much, then they still had some say in what happens or not, right? That's not to say that if I dragged the MP3 file for Dead Man's Party by Oingo Boingo into my DAW, that I would be hesitant to suggest that. I think dragging in wholesale songs is a limit for me. I struggle with loops of a certain constitution, for instance, too. Like, you can go to Cymatics or Splice or something, and they'll have a mostly portioned chunk of song. It'll have a dubstep drop, and you basically just throw it over a drum loop, and you have your drop. But I think anything is better than CBAT. So Nathan, if I may compel you on that, I think minimalism can still be creative. There's this illusion that one must do X amount of work for it to count. And I think this is where I'm starting to find my limit for where creativity begins and ends. Or at least starts to taper off. Because how many of you are familiar with Marcel Duchamp? A genuine question. Okay, I'm gonna be super weird here because I took a bunch of art history courses in college as part of my major, and I thought it was gonna suck. I learned so much. Hang on, one sec. First time I heard this person, no worries. Okay, so Marcel Duchamp was a painter and sculptor from France. And at the time, Dadaism and Cubism were sort of the big hits at the time. And Dadaism was fascinating insofar as it started to question things about the existing art world around it. It began to question even nonsense and things of that nature. I think of YouTube poops as a modern form of Dada, if that makes sense. So Marcel Duchamp has a particular work where, a lot of artists were being accused of not doing enough work or not doing enough this, that, whatever. So Marcel buys a urinal, like a new urinal, and sets it on the little art podium. Our art galleries will have little podiums on which one can display work, if it's a three-dimensional thing and not a two-dimensional thing. And there it is. Well, I mean, did you make it at all? No, it's a urinal. Well, what about it? Well, it's a urinal, yeah. And I set it here, yeah. And I have done creative work with it. It is art. It's not the kind of art I appreciate. I don't like Marcel Duchamp's urinal. But here's the thing. There is commentary. You know, his whole point, I believe this is the same, yes, this is the same painter that did LHOOQ, which is like, I think, a little mustache drawn on the Mona Lisa. At what point is artwork yours? At what point have you done enough work to make it your own thing? And yes, it deals with copyright, but I think just, you know, calling it copyright for its own sake misses the point. There is commentary, there is a discussion to be had around it, and the fact that it sparks that discussion, yeah, we're talking about Marcel Duchamp's fountain and urinal. I see what you did there. But that's kind of the point. I think even minimalist, even things with little to no effort can be art. I'd go so far as to say, there'll be folks that'll leave like a shoe in an art gallery and put a little thing next to it, and people will surround it as if it's one of the pieces. That, you know, it sounds weird for me to say, but I think that's art too. It can be that easy, even if the commentary is, hey, this is stupid. Even if the commentary is, hey, y'all are idiots thinking this is art. Here's a shoe that I left here, get bent. Because get bent is an expression. And an expression, through a means other than just saying it, can be art. I don't have to like it. I don't have to think that the amount of work was enough. Actually, I forget the name of the work and the artist, regrettably. But, I'm trying to remember the details. What I remember is this. The installation was a very large pile of fruit candies. And, as part of the installation, viewers were invited to take a single piece. I'm going to pause the music for a second. So the art, just in and of itself, just upon first glance, is a pile of candy, and you get to have one. What makes that separate from the candy dish up front at the desk, front desk? The installation was this. The artist chose fruit candy as a representation of his partner dying to cancer. Was it cancer? Pretty sure it was cancer. No, I think it might have been. I think it was AIDS. It's been a very long time. I do apologize for this, but the idea was that as time went on, this disease was ravaging their partner, and then soon there would be nothing left. Very little effort. Lasting execution for me. Think about the weight of that. With a few pieces of candy, someone is successfully, with a little bit of context as well, someone is able to communicate about the loss of their partner. By the way, if someone knows the work that I'm talking about, please correct me. I know I'm getting things wrong about it. I know I'm missing details about it, but the meaning of it stuck with me. So I'm in an interesting spot with the amount of creativity that counts. Portrait of Ross, is that it? It might be. Yes! That's the one! Thank you, Daniel. That is the one. Yeah, an ideal weight of 175 pounds of shiny, commercially distributed candy. Okay. It is a work by Felix Gonzalez Torres, currently in the collection of the Art Institute of Chicago. Let's see. Yeah, yes, okay, so it was the Kapoor's partner died of AIDS-related complications in 1991. Okay, hydrate, that I can do. Okay. So, I sit here and, now I'm confronted with my own take on, like, using midis and using loops of a certain length and fullness. And, I'm torn because, how much of this work do I want to do? And I could see someone in the AI world, being like, well, all I'm doing is just pushing the button and that's my work, or typing the prompt. There must be a limit. With loops and presets and samples and even MIDI to some extent, there is a conscious decision on which elements are present in a work. And that is something that cannot be said for generative AI. It simply is absent. The creative process is completely missing. All of that work is being put on the machine, and the machine is only capable of doing that through the bastardization of blending several. How do you explain the goldfish in a blender in music terms? I'm sorry, what? Goldfish in a blender? I've not heard of the goldfish in a blender. It looks like it was an art installation. Fish are vulnerable to any visitor of the exhibit who chose to turn on a blender and kill them. Ooh, that. Goodness. That's a very cruel piece of work. I'm not sure if I'd be able to create a proper, I don't know if I'd be able to create a proper analogy for goldfish in a blender in music terms. I suppose, you know what I think could be, for that? How do I say? I think an analogy would be, because this is still a work of human-made art. This is still, it's human-induced cruelty. It's harming living beings. But nevertheless, goodness. Sorry, words are failing me. I feel like a work like Helena, which is the goldfish in a blender, I think a work like that would be similar to if you had to get your samples or presets fresh from someone by breaking their bones. Like the process of actively harming someone. Because there are sounds that emulate that. There are sounds that, make it sound like that or even come close. But in this case, I suppose it would be sampling the actual process of harming someone or something. I think that would be the closest analogy I would have. It's still, how do I say? It's still art, but it's utterly unethical. This is artwork for which I think I have serious ethical issues. Sorry about that, Danielle. We're having discussions about AI, art, and creativity. Yeah, there are a few installations, that I think are difficult. But bringing it back to stuff like generative AI, there's a certain element of what must be present for it to be a humanity, a creative endeavor. Give me your sample or I'll break your kneecaps. No. In this case, it would be just breaking their kneecaps with the sound recorder on. Since we're on this, what's your favorite art installation? That is a good question, and I don't have a good answer. Danielle, we're talking about an analog for art installation. So we're talking about music and, people using generative AI to make music and movies nowadays. And, at what point does someone's contribution to a creative work cease to be theirs? And we talked about works like Portrait of Ross in Los Angeles, which is an art installation involving a large collection of candy. And it's like, okay, so someone brought up a work called Helena, which involved several live goldfish being put in a blender, and attendees would be able to push a button and effectively kill the fish. I have serious ethical issues with that installation. I would probably be very shaken to see that in person. But the question was, what kind of analogy, like how would I be able to translate that to music? And the thing that comes to mind for me is enacting harm as a live performance of a song or as part of the sample or recording of a song. Pretty sure someone thought it was not plugged in. I imagine so. I'm taking a look at the Wikipedia listings for these. I'm not going to sit here and act like I am some masterful art analyst. Let's see. Oh, not goldfish. No, like actual fish. It's not a good thing. How do I say? That's gotta be, it must be, it is animal cruelty. That is killing. I'm so sorry, this is a very grim subject. No worries, Jade. Please sleep well, have a great rest of your night. So, bringing it back to AI. There must be a point at which, oh, thank you. There must be a point at which humanity does some work. Thank you for that, Beth. There must come a point where a human does make some sort of decision about the work, other than that it must exist. Because think about sampling. Think about works like "This Is Not a Pipe" or LHOOQ by Marcel Duchamp, which is essentially just adding something on top of an existing work. There is still some element of creative decision. Even things like graffiti to some extent. By the way, this is not to say that certain works are ethically good or bad or do not have ethical issues. For instance, when an elderly woman's house gets graffitied by someone and she's in no place to fix it and it's got some sort of slur or something, that's, one could argue that's not a good thing. Has something recently happened with AI, good or bad? I've just been having a discussion with an artist about it as well, especially since it recently began getting into my art hobby, model making both on computers and IRL. So the discussion started with why people may not be going to movies as much as they used to. Like, studios will be investing all this money, all these huge billion-dollar productions, and then they'll bring it to market, and 3 people watch. And I kind of went full tilt conspiracy. I have no reason to actually think it, but my theory is this: the very same studios that need to be convinced to pay their artists, their musicians, their cinematographers, their animators, have been implementing AI, right? And it's not to say they've been immediately putting that to work in some of the recent things that have flopped, but I think it shows a disconnect from wanting to understand what people actually connect with. It's why do we need to think about that when we just need to make product and make money? Well, it's because you want something that people will actually resonate with. You want something that people actually watch and get something out of. There must be human value for humans to watch the movie. And value to something that isn't human if an entity that is not human is coming to watch. But that's hard to create or to instill in a work if AI is involved. Things like Suno AI or some of the stuff that's been trying to make movies out of AI footage. If I just stole someone's song and reposted it on YouTube with the title, I stole the song and YouTube is going to pay me for it. Pretty messed up, huh? That would seem pretty clearly art to me, no. Arguably quite an incisive commentary on YouTube's copyright system at that. So there is a limit to that, I think. I think, yes, that could potentially be seen as art. It is still art by means of genuine theft. You have taken someone's song and re-uploaded it with no added value or wholesale, even the title. It is. I would argue that it is art, but by virtue of most of the actual work of the content not being your own, it is not entirely your work. And yes, it would be an incisive commentary for sure. But how do I say? Commenting on world peace by harming someone still involves harm, right? Seems to me the issue with generative AI is more the plagiarism and crass commercialism of it all than anything to do with art. I'd be inclined to agree. Because right now, it is being used to wholesale replace creativity. And that's no longer, it's not a matter of, oh, I want to make something good. It's, I want to make something that makes us money. It doesn't have to be creative, so we'll fire the creatives that made it possible before. It is, yeah, I think it is more to do with more the commercial aspect of it. And at some point, the same entities that publish these things have to reckon with the fact that they're no longer creating something. They're simply publishing the mental equivalent of white noise. Like something plagiarized and blended so thoroughly that it is sludge. I had words, but they left. I feel like getting into the ethics of art itself can be a difficult point, too, for the record. I think we might be... it is hard to navigate a lot of these things, because we can see why certain issues are hard to talk about. I think about that. There's a certain amount of analysis and a certain amount of, there's no ethical consumption or capitalism, right? I can't be streaming to you talking about this kind of thing on a platform owned by Amazon, right? This avatar, for instance, was created by an artist. Art should not be a means to an end. May I ask why not? I'm not sure if I understand that fully. Art should not be a means to an end. I am not actually doing that with my hand. It's a little spooky. I'm not sure if I understand what you mean by that. I'm sorry. I think I get it now. Like, art should not be some utilitarian thing for the purpose of just getting something done. Art is not it's not, how do I say? Art as a means to an end is simply putting paper or something on a wall, right? Or, putting the media in a space, and that's it. Okay, I'm not doing that with my hands, and it seems to want to do that with my hands whenever I do anything. I disagree with there is no ethical consumption under capitalism thing, because in this context, there's no consumption at all without it. I suppose in a larger context, it would be difficult to... ethical consumption as opposed to what kind of consumption? I guess... destructive consumption. There could be excess. There could be things that depend on immense amounts of harm in order for it to be consumed. Also, hello, Shin. I hope you're doing well today. There are things that can be made ethically, and there can be things that can be more ethically or less ethically, right? And I think the idea of there is no ethical consumption under capitalism implies that every means of capitalism involves exploitation. I am not well enough studied or versed on such matters to have a direct comment on it. I'm using the phrase more as a sort of catch-all at the moment. I confess that I am not doing that with my hand. I am doing some shorthand with this. Is Batty in this playlist? Yes, it is. Have I read Roland Barthes' famous paper on the death of the author? I have not, confessedly. I've heard of the concept, but I have not read the paper. Okay, that's it. I'm unplugging the leap motion for now. It just keeps putting my hand up when I'm not putting my hand up. That could put an end to potential AI slot productions if they can't strangle copyrights or IPs. I feel like that's a whole different matter. What am I on about with this? So, I think in the case of consumption and things like that, I'm aware of the irony of speaking to you on the matters of art and consumption and, you know, the ethics of creating something on Twitch television. And, you know, that we've got ourselves into quite a hole, haven't we? I feel like we've gone in a lot of different directions. Definitely not wanting to shift gears from this. Wait, is that sarcasm or genuine? I'm sorry. I guess a point that I will make is this. We will not see an end to the use of generative AI until we can reasonably defend the value of a creative work, including monetary. The notion that a creative must be paid for work, that a creative person must be paid for their labor if they've agreed into that, if they've entered into that agreement by default. Like, studio goes, hey, artist, we'll pay you to draw for us. Okay, we'll draw for you. Hey, I've drawn for you. Will you pay me? Ha! No, get bent. Thanks, we're just gonna feed it into this machine and it'll draw for us now forever. And by the way, you're fired. Piss off. That is the issue. There are those who will create for free. And there may be those who, and by the way, in terms of, okay, sorry, I want to touch on this, and then I think it might be good to breathe on the subject. I'm aware of uses of generative AI trained only on a specific subset. There are people who ethically lend their voices to AI. There are people who train their own engines on their own work and only use it that way. This, to me, seems ethical. If the tool is done in such a way where everything is consensual and reasonable, and those involved are adequately compensated if as necessary, then yes, I'm for it. But of course, the issue is, if that was the case, we wouldn't be having this discussion. If that was the context in which generative AI is being used now, we would not have the discussion. And right now, the context is very much generative AI is being used to replace creatives. Cameras using AI for voice changers to make it sound like relatives. That's been a hot minute. AI should be used to help with making art, never to make the art entirely just with AI. So Danielle, that's a fair point. Although the question that I would ask is, at what point does it stop becoming helping and start becoming just baking? To put it in perspective, you can use MS Paint in Windows 11 right now, and you could draw a painting, like an MS Paint picture, and it'll fill in the AI. You're still doing something, right? So it must be art. But at some point, you are handing... That's a hard one, too, because, like, oh, if it's based on something that an artist is doing, then, you know, it's just a tool, right? I suppose I would need to concede that argument in this case. Anyone who streams... Oh, yeah, I've heard about that. Of course, this is the issue with having a deeper discussion about creativity and artwork and, you know, who does what. I'm not going to sit here and act like I have every answer and every ethical decision, right? That would be to assert myself as an ethical, as, you know, somehow having a certain ethical standing. And I don't think I could reasonably assert that. I am Big Booba Bunny on internet. Talk about fast dance music. So, please understand that my discussion on this is not some be-all, end-all, some academic solution to a problem. More just a discussion that's been on my mind. It's probably art in my mind. It's just bad art that plagiarizes and probably brings very little creative or worthy of comment to the table. And you know, the idea of why generative AI is used in creative fields. There's something like that. Tyga, how you doing, darling? You're mispainted. Ah, yeah, that. You're just in time, Tyga. We've been talking about AI. I'm doing good, just playing some SnowRunners. I am not familiar with SnowRunners. Are we trashing AI? Hell yeah. To some extent. I have this sort of larger conspiracy theory that's entirely uneducated, but is, the reason that films are failing in the box office these days is because a lot of the executives are out of touch. And instead of wanting to go to people that actually understand and put in the work and time, they want to make product now, even if someone is not actively making it anymore. And that got into the notion of AI and things like that. I think you mean you're in your bimbo arc. Don't you tempt me. But thinking is hard. Content ownership is a difficult discussion to have. Oh my gosh. I need a sip. Don't ask questions, just consume product, get excited for next product. Basically. Stop using anti-bimbo. Wait, am I actually? If so, I'm genuinely sorry. Wait a minute. Is that what I think it is? But yeah, no, like, I'm not gonna sit here and act like I have the general. The body's really. I've had a few people say that. Oh no. Maybe the Bimbodacy arc is finally coming back. It's really warm in here. But yeah, no, like, my theory is that that film studios would see a larger return on their investments if they spent less. One, allowed creatives to actually create. Two, and had more of a sense of what people actually want to see. As opposed to just, we have decided to public, this is product. You know, get excited for this product. I guess a reduction of creative art as product with no creative value. What's the word? I think it was Scott McCloud, the cartoonist, who talked about, who kind of questioned the notion of like the virtuous artist who dares not make money from their creations. Like, okay, so your work has no practical value now. Great. It's not necessarily a take that I think is the right one, but I think there's something to it. Get excited for Bimbo Ody coming to a stream near you. I have no mouth and I must scream. One of these days I'd love to do like a pseudo NPC like Bimbo stream where it's actually deep discussions. Well, I'm gonna have a little bit of my paper qua. How do I say? Bimbo more in the Chrisley Slepeka approach, where there's clearly a lot of research, but also, you know, don't ask if my feet hurt in these heels. They do. A lot. A lot of companies will never change anything and then just ride their popularity. If I'm optimistic, I feel like there could be a move in the direction of, I think it's a lot of what draws people to the indie scene, because people are still making things there, right? They're still, would lewd bimbo be the opposite of wholesome himbo? I suppose so. Although it depends on if we see. My brain hurts. I don't want to think about stuff anymore. This is hard. I just witnessed the most brutal roasting. It may as well have been a murder. What, on like Twitter or something? Also, if it is all right with you, I could stand to take a quick, maybe 5-minute break. Oh, in person. Oh no. CG The Rivals, Thor, Love and Thunder. Well, on call. That's fair. That's still something. Yeah, I think what I'm gonna do I want to keep hanging out though. Like, this is the problem with when I take a break. I want to keep hanging out, but also I need to get more water and maybe like a snack. And I can't do that if I stay. But then if I leave, I can't keep talking. I don't know. I'll hang out a little bit more. I was talking to my friend and his stepfather burst in the room and my friend fired back with brutality. Oh no. Hydrate, that I can do. There's a UK model company called Hornby that is over 100 years old and is currently selling 60-year-old models for 120 pounds, 155, almost completely unchanged. That sounds good. One thing I should concede before we go too far with that AI discussion, and I might come back to something else if that's cool. The discussion of AI with creativity necessarily equates finished works of art with products. If it did not, then there'd be a very different discussion. But alas, or rather, sorry, not necessarily either products or implemented parts of a product. The models were originally designed as kids' toys and were around 70 pounds adjusted for inflation when they were new. I see. I'll share the roast when you get back, but brace yourself because it caught me off guard. Oh no. Yeah, I think I'll take a quick break. Maybe 5 minutes. I'll keep it short. So I will be right back. As long as it will actually let me do. I'll just click it from here. My stream deck takes a little bit. All right, here we go. Y'all cleaned the board. Look at you go. Oh my gosh. Okay. Y'all are like so smart. Oh my gosh. Yeah. All right. I'm back. Hi. Do you miss me? I missed you. Okay. I used to be so good at spelling stuff. Oh my gosh. Yes. I didn't. What do you mean cheating? The hell did I cheat? Come along now. I think for that, Bats. Too late for words. I'm sure there'll be another opportunity for it. Hydrate, that I can do. I have a thing of proper water now. There we go. Okay, so it's still doing the arm thing. I wonder if it's just how the USB cable is plugged in. Would it be all right if we, okay. It's not fair for me to do this, and if it's best that we stick with the subject, I'll respect it. Is it okay if I move the subject? Thank you so much for that, Pats. If we discuss something else. Not that we were having a bad time. I hope it was a good time, but I'd like to, I don't know, I like to talk about other stuff too. Holiday I'm on is ending, but I'm happy because when I get back home, I can girl mode again more often. Ooh, here's hoping. Honestly, okay. Actually, if it's all right with you, I'd like to use that as the next little pivot point. I noticed something between when before I came out and after. I used to make more time to put myself together in nice things. What's the deal with airline food? Sorry. Your vision is so horrible that if I was to pay a portrait... Ooh. Cobalt. Woo. Wow. Good Jiminy. Sweet mother of God. That's a doozy. Woo. Okay. Whew, okay. Sorry. Honestly, that's not just a comeback. That is like an entire, just a devastation. Good Lord. I don't know how to follow that up. I'm sorry. So something that I noticed, if it's all right with you, I used to put myself together more regularly, like right before I was ready to come out. Like I used to make time to put myself together in nice things or practice my makeup or things like that. And now it's not that I don't do it, it's that I do it less. And I mean, there's a reasonable solution for that, right? Like, it's not just, it's not just a matter of like, oh, I don't like doing that. Obviously, I still do. I love it. But there's something to it. It's not even that I still like guy mode anymore. You've truly unlocked ultimate girl mode. I mean, some of it is that. Like, it's not sweats so much as like, I have yoga pants on. But it's more like, I guess now that that is an integral part of my day, now that it's like an established part of my identity, in my case, I guess I just don't take time on it. And it's not to say that you're not, that you're not you because you're not taking the time to present. But like for me, it was a very important part of establishing that to myself, to explore that and affirm that and be like, yes, this is who I am. And this is what I get value from. And this affirms these things about me. I guess now, on some level, I've kind of made that contract with myself that those things are evident. Before I came out, I used to worry about needing to look like a boy, and now I don't care as long as I look like a girl. Fair enough. I guess in my case, I get so caught up in like doing things. Like I was talking about earlier about like the reason I haven't seen a lot of movies because I've been very head down, very focused on work. Very much like I gotta do the thing. I have established myself as a person, and now I'm putting that aside to be constructive. And that's not good. That's not a healthy way to do things. When in reality, the best thing that I could be doing for myself is doing exactly those things. Affirming myself, getting my hair done this Thursday, like I'm doing. or, you know, keeping myself in nice things, or, you know, donating some of the clothes that I don't wear to charity, and then, or, you know, things like that. And then, you know, picking 1 or 2 nice things. Grow Mode Infinite, I've essentially kind of unlocked it to some extent, but I also haven't. How do I say? Affirming gender to oneself, I can't speak for everyone, but in my case, it didn't end like I thought it would. If I could grow mode all the time, I would, but sadly, right now, that isn't an option for me. I think the thing for me is, like, back in the day, that used to kind of buy me my drive back. It used to remind me, hey, someday I will be this person, and that brought me hope. Now, I am that person. And, you know, I've kind of... It's not as novel for me to do that, because, like, well, yeah, of course I'd wear that. That's just a thing I do. But here's the problem. Sometimes I need the dopamine. Sometimes I need to remind myself that I'm not just a like, I think Avenel said it best, but I forget how. I need to pull up my last conversation with her to get the exact wording. It had to do with sentience. Okay, there we go. Someday I will be able to grow mode. It might take some time, but I'll get there. I hope you can. Like, if that's something that you want for yourself, then I do genuinely hope that that you do. Okay. The way that Avenel once put it to me is, I am not a Eurobeat dispenser for fans who have to deal with me having sentience. What an interesting time for the music to end. Wow, literally the entire playlist ended. Okay. One of my friends has given me his old makeup since he's FTM, so he doesn't want it anymore. I'm looking forward to it, but I'm clueless about makeup. Haven't teach you. I mean, that can depend on how that friend is affirmed. If doing someone's makeup, like, affirms the wrong things, it might be like, COVID just kind of killed all my opportunities to do that, and it's really hard to motivate myself when I'm just sitting around at home on my days off. Honestly, that lack of drive is something I super resonate with. Some of you might know that before the Ody-thon, and before I made some shifts in some of the rights management around my work, I really truly was basically paycheck to paycheck. What's the point of spending an hour to do really nice makeup when nothing is going on? Actually, Bran, I have both a counter to that and a counter to that counter. Here's the counter first. What's the point of spending an hour to do really nice makeup when nothing is going on? We can make something go on. Sometimes getting dressed can be the event in and of itself. But we can put ourselves together nicely to simply exist in a state that is nice. However, that takes effort. That used to take me 2 hours of makeup to do. That used to take me a really long time to figure out and just I want to look pretty. That's what's going on. Ho. Honestly, a lot of makeup is best learned by some basic guides, then practice, and try various different looks. Even if they aren't your look, different makeup skills will improve. Totsukeki, counter! So, it's an interesting mishmash, but something that I've learned from those days, like before this was essentially just who I am, inside, outside, upside down, the work that it takes to feel good about oneself. I look pretty without makeup is the thing. It's not about looking pretty, it's about dressing up, you know. Yeah, that's fair too. And I mean, I feel like our presentations can be more than just makeup. You know, dressing, you know, what we wear does have value to us. Like, there's a reason that past culture used to wear masks and change their garb to reflect certain things. It has an effect on us. We enter into a liminal space with that by you know, changing our context of ourselves. There's a reason they say dress for the job you want, not the job you have, because the things that you wear do have an effect on you. They can affect your mind. I'd probably feel better, and don't get me wrong, I'm feeling okay. I'm actually in a pretty good mood. I'd probably feel a lot better right now if I had woken up and used my morning to put myself together, to, you know, clean up my face and do my makeup and choose a cute outfit, that kind of thing. I'd probably feel a lot better. But I would have had to convince myself that the time that it takes to do that was worth spending. And as some of you might know, like the thing that I was getting to earlier, I was essentially having to scramble to make ends meet. Why is it not tracking that? I did kind of scramble to make ends meet. And I couldn't really take that time. And time doing that was essentially time away from affording to live here. Affording to pay off my taxes. Things like that. Excuse me. And I think I need to do that hydrate before I forget. I think I'm just tired a lot. And there it is. Because things are worth the effort. But it's still effort. Does that make sense? I guess it's like if something costs money, and it's like, that's not a bad value for that. I just can't buy it because that's still money. And I'm not sure if I have that kind of money for that right now. Sorry, my back is itchy. I'm also going thrifting soon to get more feminine clothes. So it should hopefully be easier than it was when I was mask presenting, since I was a men's XS, which is really hard to find. The rant I have about femme clothes sizing. Oh my gosh. Yeah, no, I need a friend to teach me makeup. I'm not going to start doing it around my family amount. I'm not putting my hand up to my face, by the way. The leap motion is just, you know what it is? I'm going to grab the other end of this cable and I'm going to be right back. Tired of doing that. Right, which end is the cable? Okay. This is plugged in directly to the... What the heck? This should be working better than fine. Oh, it's USB-C. That should be making it work better, not worse. What the heck? Frustrating. Alright. I just gotta deal with it. Wait. Do what I do and order on Taobao, where they actually tell you how big the clothes are in centimeters so you can measure your body to see if they fit. They even often have basic measurements for the models. That can be true to a degree. It's good to have the sizes in, to have your sizes in centimeters and inches, but not everywhere has the sizes, the numbers. It's like, oh, we just don't cater to that. Why? Still struggling to find clothes in a different way. Why is it so hard to find a UK size 10, US women's size 13 of any women's shoes? Bluntly, because the way that clothes are marketed to us, the demand is for us to fit the clothes and not clothes to fit us. If clothes were made to fit us, then other products would not sell as well. They would not be able to pitch us on diets or exercise things or other things that are supposed to push us in the direction of pursuing the activities that are desirable for pushing product. That's what I'm saying. Taobao, they basically all do, whereas nowhere in the US has any kind of real sizing at all. That's fair. Yes, size 4. I want to give up the first 2 years all the time. It's really a struggle. I have all the faith in my beginning girlies. It can be really rough, like just getting sizes for that. The way that I've heard it said, masculine clothing is sized on science. There is some number that is consistent across the board for every, large, medium, small, for the most part. Femme clothing sizing is done by bullshit and marketing. Not my words. I've heard of HRT shrinking your shoe size. HRT shrinking your shoe size. Shrinking your shoe size, which I'm kind of rooting for right now. It's so much easier to find a UK size 8 or 9. I kind of wish that happened to me as well. My feet are size redacted, which is about what they were before, and it still translates about the same. And it's not always easy to find shoes that fit my absolute stompers. Shoes are the worst, but if it fits in your style, I can recommend going for alt boots. There's often enough size crossover in that area for you to find. Yeah. That's not even true for men's clothing anymore. It's just as wishy-washy. Is that right? That's awful. I mean, decent that, you know, it's not just happening to one demographic anymore, but also it shouldn't be happening to any demographic. Just make clothes sizing make sense. Honestly, like, I don't know. I digress. But yeah, the point is, like, taking time to put myself together in something that affirms me. It's something that I used to do more. But I need to, you know, one of the things that I tend to do when I'm taking better care of myself is I will take the time to do those things. And what I'm learning now is, one of the practical things that I've learned is sleeping in does so much damage to me. That sounds so weird, but bear with me on this. Sleeping in costs me hours in the day. That is time that I could put into, you know, putting myself together, taking a walk around the block, things like that. When I wake up at 9 and I have breakfast at 10 because I take, you know, because I'm still in my bed on my computer or something, on my laptop, when I'm spending my time doing that, the day goes by so quickly, and then it's over. And then, you know, I fall asleep later at night, and I have trouble sleeping. I woke up this morning at 7. I've started setting my alarms again, and I'm waking up at 7. What I really need to do, if I knew what was good for me, I would actually do this. And I think now that I'm speaking words into it, I'm going to do it today. I'm going to ban any device that is not my phone. I still need my phone because if I get called for an emergency in the middle of the night or something, then that's fine. And there are things that I do on my phone that help me fall asleep. Hello, welcome back, Vera. So the idea being, when I wake up and I turn off my alarm, which is on my phone, I spend time on my laptop. And I'll spend an hour on that thing. I'll spend an hour going through Blue Sky and even Twitter sometimes, and seeing what's happened in the spheres that I inhabit, which creators have released things, what's been going on. And that is time. It's not all constructive. It's not all work. It's just consuming. And that's not to say that zero of it is ever constructive. There have been times when I woke up. I am literally not doing that with my hand. There have been times when I've woken up and something has happened and I needed to address it. I remember a time, and it wasn't inherently a bad thing. An example of a decent thing where I still needed to react to it when I woke up. I remember waking up once and I saw that someone in the Eurobeat world, in the Eurobeat fan base in Japan, and mind you, this was not a bad thing. This was not some act of transphobia or malice. It was simply something like this. Hey, y'all know that Ken Blass is a trans woman, right? And also a VTuber? That's cool. Exploded in Japanese Eurobeat Twitter. So I wake up to that and I'm like, oh, okay. I gotta gauge how this is. And it wasn't bad. It was not some like awful experience. Like, people were generally surprised, but you know, they asked a few questions and sought to understand. And there are some discussions outside of Twitter that were less constructive. Get off of NamuWiki. But for the most part, Twitter was like, oh, well, the more you know. But I did kind of need to keep an eye on things to be like, do I need to say something? Do I need to do something? Another instance, some of you might remember right before the Ody-thon. I won't get into it too much because it was a rough situation. Someone had been lashing out against the staff of a convention at which I had been a guest. And they had joined my server to communicate with me. And in doing so, in discussing the situation, it had been determined that they were a minor. And my server does not allow minors. You must be 18 or older to participate, to join. So, and also, I'd actually done some due diligence on the case that was being presented. So it was determined that the case was not legitimate, and this person was not complying with the rules. So I banned them from my server. And their response was to go out onto TikTok and Twitter and YouTube to smear my name to family members, to Eurobeat labels, to friends. And I did have to issue a statement about that. I remember the morning that I woke up, it's like, all right, we might have to say something. And I did issue a statement on the matter. It sucks. Don't become a public figure. Just don't do it. But there can be times when that's necessary, but did it really have to be so immediate? Did I really have to respond to something within the second? If I'm asleep, like if it's 3 a.m. my time, I don't have to cater to that. It's something that really could wait until after I had my morning routine done. If I had woken up, made breakfast, I think for the head pats. Hello, Vermouth. You can say something about it next week if it's convenient. I promise it doesn't actually matter that much. Speaking of which, good morning. Good morning, Sky. Good to see you. Hope you're doing well today. Words are... my time and health are way more important. Yes, sadly, because I'm a public figure, because my livelihood depends on the behaviors and public opinions of those around me, I do have to have some sort of tracking on that. There's a reason that some social media managers will also basically be reputation managers. Let's see. 80 stream streak from Vera. My goodness. Thank you so much for 80 streams in a row. That is incredible. Thank you so much for your continued support. I'm used to stuff like that happening, not to me luckily, but to some of my friends. Furry Twitter is very bad for trying to smear some people's names, sometimes for a good reason, 80% of the time for not. I'm worried about doing the things that I do because I don't want negativity heading towards me. So here's the thing. We can only do so much about the world around us and the space that we inhabit, right? I have too much to do to worry too much about what people think. And I will say, for my own mental health, I have a limit on how much I care about what other people say. Just empty transphobia, it's like, okay, whatever, that's a dime a dozen. Harsh criticism of my music, whatever, okay. Or if there's value to it, then yeah, I'll give that a look. But otherwise, I'm just like, okay, it's whatever. It's the internet. People have bad days, people have bad takes, whatever. So I will worry if the potential of harm is present, or if such intense misinformation is being spread. I'm not doing that with my hand. I think I just need to use both my hands the entire time. Social media hours do matter because you need to keep the reach of smear campaigns in check. And here's the thing. I keep my head down. It's not even necessarily a big secret, but one of the things that I do to generally, do okay, I keep my head down. I focus on what I'm here to do. I make my music. I make my titty jokes. If I do say something that's not okay, I do try to recognize it, apologize, learn from it, and actually implement it going forward. I generally, word I'm looking for. I keep to myself. I very seldom go out of my way to participate in something. Part of that is, a lot of that is very much intentional. If I do have to speak up on something, I hope that it can be on a matter that is important. if that makes sense. Almost had a mental breakdown on Sunday. That's how bad the negativity of the things I do get. I am so sorry to hear that, Daniel. May I ask, what do you tend to do to replenish your mental health? I go so far as to say it's the norm for corporate VTubers, and with good reason. Yeah, it can be a little bit difficult. I will say that I see plenty of people on the internet who simply never address rumors or drama, and does not seem to impact their popularity at all. It depends on how much one feeds rumors. And in how do I say? I want to reduce how much I talk about the subject because I feel like it can get into some dark territory. I'm very fortunate to have conducted myself in a way where I'm generally free to do what I need to do. Either play games or work on my model railway. That sounds good. That actually sounds really fun. Play games or fun on the verge of it, cry. That's healthy too. Honestly, like if you like, I remember trying to talk about this before the Audithon. Crying is extremely healthy to a degree. And I get an immense amount of relief when I get myself to cry. It's something that I'm actually, for lack of a better way to put it, kind of trying to get myself to do a little bit more. I think the act of crying, Arkines, hello! Good to see you. I hope you're doing well today. Hello, Julie. Good to see you. I hope you're doing well today. Words are killing me. I'm very sorry. Something about the actual act of crying helps a lot. Those estrogen boosted cries really just hit different. I must confess, it is not much easier for me to cry than it used to be. I'm not sure if like something is fighting with my dosage or if I'm just like, what's the word? If I'm just not as emotional as I thought it would be. The therapeutic value of a good cry is overlooked 100%. Thank you. I'm glad that you got what I was on about. Sometimes I need time alone to recharge. Yeah. The stream is great. I'm glad that you think so. What was I on about? Right, so, we're talking about like, right. So we're talking about time in a day and the things that we do to take care of ourselves. What I really need to start doing is waking up early, no devices except for my phone, in the case of, emergencies, or if something's truly big enough, then I will not be on my phone. I can just come out here and get on the desktop or the laptop and do what I need to do. How do I say? I need to start making my room more of a haven for myself. You know what else is nice? What else is nice? Tangent, hello! Good to see you. Hope you're doing well today. You know what else is nice? You? Sorry. I'm trying to do it's not showing the finger. I'm trying to do the Riz face. Though I'm sure a lot of trans women do cry more after transition because it's more socially acceptable and all that. I did have a period of time when I was better, but nah, Julie, thank you. Stop it. What was I on about? So I could stand to wake up earlier, make my room a laptop and desktop free zone. I used to try to make it work where, I could hook up the laptop and have the screen on a thing. None of that. I need to keep my devices out of my room so I can wake up, look outside. The only device I should have is my phone, and even then, maybe like a 5-minute timer to do what I want to do, and then out of bed, get dressed, pop out of the room, maybe clean up a little bit, or do my exercise stuff, I find that doing that kind of thing, I have never been more happy, and had more drive than when I have woken up early, I've done my exercise, I've had 3 square meals, and I worry now that I sound like, yes, VTuber here to tell you, take care of yourself. Like, this is not me trying to be granola. This is not me trying to be like, yeah, self-care is good. I've been crying a lot since starting estrogen myself. It's been absolutely wild. All the emotions have been more present. Aw, heart kinds. Honestly, that makes sense though. I feel like the way that emotional expression has been gendered socially. Yeah, when we were talking earlier about like, oh, and it's more socially acceptable. Hello, Drakea. Thank you so much for hopping in. I hope you're doing well today. Words are failing me. I find that when I do those things, when I put in the work, I am rewarded for it. I'm excited to cry more, as weird as it sounds. Danielle, that is not weird to me. Pixie can attest. I was literally excited for the exact same thing. I was that excited. Like, I was like, I get to cry more. It gets to be okay. I get to do this more. You gotta add that you accepting yourself and your emotions does help a lot. Absolutely. That is extremely, like, it's a very good point. There's a lot of things around that, for sure. Yeah, that was very validating a little bit. At my lowest point, those breakdowns were every week on the run up to my egg cracking, so to speak. Drakea, do you accept the redemption from Varsk? Varsk has redeemed where I essentially call you a good boy, good girl, or whatever it is you would like to be called. Whatever validates you. I just started my career in designing artwork, so should I draw your free artworks line art? No need to pay, we can do business late if we become friends. That's fantastic, Julie. I appreciate that. I am so blessed to be surrounded by talented artists. I think if ever it comes up, we'll see about it. For now, I've got my cuppeth runneth over with good art. Okay. Oh my. Okay. So I have a chain of these to do, if you'll excuse me. Drakea, are you listening? Are you here, darling? Drakea, you are such a good girl. What a good girl you are, huh? Who's mommy's sweet girl, huh? Lexi. What a beautiful name for such a good girl. Then I will call you Lexi. Oh, that's not what my hand is doing. Let's see. It is now noted. Your name in this chat will be Lexi, my good girl. Thank you for communicating that with me. What a good girl you are, using your words and communicating your needs with us. What a good girl. And now, Varsk, do you accept the redemption from AXR? Julie, that sounds very spammy. You said that before, but you haven't posted any artwork line arts. We have a spammer. There we go. Girl as well. Very well. Varsk, can you hear me? Are you there? Let me know and I'll start. Varsk, you are such a good girl. What a good girl you are, huh? Who's mommy's good girl? Is it you? It's you. Such a good girl. Good girl. What a good girl you are. How's that? Right, now I'm gonna open a thing of string cheese because it's you! Yes! Speaking of names, I'm kind of interested in how other trans people here picked their new names. It's a good point. What's it? I'm literally not even doing that with my hands. I wonder what it's reading or picking up that it would think that that's my hand. I wish that I could say that my choice of name had a very deep meaning. I was literally thinking of the most feminine names I could think of. And I stumbled upon Jessica, but I knew a Jessica, and I didn't know if I gave myself that that vibe. Archine's gifting a sub to Kleptois. Thank you so much for gifting that sub. Can we get some love in the chat to Archine's? Archine's, what are you doing? And gifting that sub to Professional Crastination. To those who've received subs, please enjoy your emotes, your sub badge, being part of the Oddities community. Can we get some love in the chat for our new subs? I picked Sylvia because I liked it and thought it'd be silly to be named after a car. So, right, I had the name Jessica, I was on the name Jessica. I'm like, I don't quite vibe with that, but what if I changed it a little bit? What about Jessa? Oh. Oh. Hello? Oh. That clicked. Huh. So that was kind of the point. It's like, you know what? Yeah, that's my name. That's me. I give myself Jessa energy. Quick bite. Yeah, so that's basically how I chose it. And then, that's kind of how it went. Easy as. Honestly, I laugh sometimes about how hyper masculine my name is despite the gender fluidity, but damn it, Lance is cool. Lance is a cool name. You know what I think it is, though? I feel like names can be reclaimed. So, like, think about the name Billy, right? The first association is, generally masculine. But then we hear Billie Eilish. And I wouldn't even necessarily that's like reclaimed or anything. Like, there are people that I know when I hear their name and it's like, oh, that's them. It's not, the association that it might have had before. It's like, oh, that's just, that person to me is this. The easy option would be removing the last letter from my birth name, but I don't really like that name due to a lot of negative experiences with people called that. Huh. I remember looking into my dead name at some point and seeing that apparently there were some, instances of, cis women being named my dead name. And then I thought about, would I still want to be called that, given the chance? And the answer was no. Often names like that sound the same, but with slightly different spellings can change it. Yeah, exactly. Well, I'm gonna self-impose a hydrate. Deeper swigs, so it can hydrate my voice a little better. It's weird because I'll hydrate myself, but my voice will not receive the same hydration, and I don't get it. It's like perpetually having a cold or something, and I hate it. Lance is... Oh, think about that, bats. Lance is feminine in the original Latin. Ooh, I did not know that. Words are failing me. But yeah, no, I didn't know about that. Did anyone else change middle names? Quite a few people I know just got rid of theirs instead, which is a waste of such good namespace. I'll confess, I did not think up a middle name for myself, in the process. And I kind of miss having one, but I so seldom used it before. And I might go back and add it later. But there's already paperwork that I'm missing for the last one that I just did. I've considered Catalina for middle name. That's pretty. I like my middle name. I never use it, but it's fine. I choose Serena as my middle name. It's like, oh, that is cute. The more the better, TBH. That's fair. I don't know. I like having a name that is, generally kind of prompt. I did change middle names myself. It's just the second name that I was thinking about when choosing my first name. Honestly, not a bad way to go about it. Sort of vice name, in a way. Just about. Oof. That was potent. Actually used my middle name so rarely it took 5 seconds to remember what it was. See, I don't really have that for me. My original middle namesake was my uncle. And don't get me wrong, I like that uncle. I don't know, I guess, like, I'm okay with not having a middle name for now. Maybe it can be contextual. See, I might keep my birth middle name just due to why my parents added it, memorial to my granddad on my dad's side. Just don't know about having William as a middle name as a girl. I mean, it's up to you. That's the cool thing about names. They're not guy names or girl names inherently. To some extent, they are your name and what you assign to it. I've always found the name Cereza pretty for some reason. Well, it's very soft. It's Cereza. Sibel. It is pretty. That is cherry in some Latin descendant language, if I'm not mistaken. I think a bucket list for me would be to play a game with streamers that I love and sharing what I love with them and seeing them enjoy it. And while it won't happen anytime soon, I still hold out for some distant hope that it will. I hope that happens, Daniel. I hope it does. Like, I'd be fine with it, and it's a middle name, so in my mind it doesn't count towards my gender identity. Yeah, that's fair. That's the cool thing about our identities. To some to every extent, it is simply what we do for ourselves. Mine is in Sanskrit, and despite the fact that it shows up on forums on a daily basis for work, no one has ever said anything. Huh. I will say this. I did not dislike my dead name. The way that I've likened it to my mom, actually, was that my now dead name is like a favorite shirt. After a while, even our favorite shirts can be outgrown. My dead name was like a favorite shirt that simply no longer fit. Titties notwithstanding. But on a more genuine level, like, I liked it, it just didn't fit where I was going. Spacey! Bats. How you doing, darling? I'm now waiting for someone to have the middle name of Sen's Undertale. I wish my mom would get that, honestly. So here's the thing. My parents do a very good job of seeking to understand. And to some extent, not putting their own takes on things first. One possible issue I've come across, I saw a figure of my town being the 10th most transphobic city in my country, with a 1,046% increase in hate crimes and incident records in the past 5 years. I could see how that would be an obstacle, Lexi. I'm so sorry. I hope that you can find your way to safety, or at least surround yourself with good folks for that. Jane Comics stands still. Oh, no. I remember to have a friend who exclusively calls me Tony because of my middle name. He's been doing it since we were 9, Lamau, but whenever others are around, he calls me Tony. Everyone around just gets confused. I don't know why, but that reminds me of the tweet that I saw where it's like, at some point, misgendering people can be so silly because, to some extent, it's no longer, like, it's just not accurate. It's like, Grandpa, I have D cups. The waitress thinks you're wild for he-hemming me. I forget the exact wording of it, but it's like, wait, what, why, what? It is far easier to take people at face value on their identity. It's alright, I'm not in the majorly concentrated areas where incidents were reported, but it's very apparent. That's the one, Callie, thank you. Ask him to call you Hawk instead. Varsk. Wow. My sister bigger than your brain, get the hint? They're up, they're getting there. What was that on about? How y'all doing, by the way? Just a little check-in. We've gone through a couple of subjects, to say the least. Big bite. Actually, chat, I have a question. Tomorrow, if you remember, we're going to the beach again for the last time for the year. Is there anything that you would like to do while we're at the beach? Or would it basically just be a hangout and a walk like last time? It's one of the huge reasons why I'm pushing for Forza Horizon 5 here, if I'm going to be honest, as weird as that sounds. I don't think that's weird. I think it ties to what you've been saying. I remember hearing about someone's dad being recommended for a dementia test by trans healthcare professional because they kept denting me. Oh, wow. Oh, my. Build a sandcastle with my logo. I see. Hello, gamer. Good to see you. Can I have a fire? Is it going to be cold? I don't think it's going to be cold during the time that I'll be there. Let me take a look, though. Let's see. Hang on, I'm checking a few things. I don't think it's gonna be cold. But let me take a look. Oh yeah, still have it in Celsius. What's that for? Oh my, oh, okay. Yeah, that's earned. Okay, so, wait, that's not where I need to go. Here's the one. So tomorrow, during stream hours, let me get the, Lexi Wexy 1012, thank you so much for the follow. Welcome to the stream. It is great to have you here. I am Odyssey of Odyssey Eurobeat, and my music has been featured in Super Eurobeat, Initial D, DDR, Matara Konovi Shoujo, Ashton Martin, Rolling Stone, and much, much more. Great to have you here. I'm kind of tempted to get a bunny suit. Do it! You're gonna love it! I love my bunny suit IRL. Get yours! I mean, if you want it, obviously. I can't force you to do anything. Okay. Timing-wise, so if we go, if we start then... Yeah, we'll be there for the hottest hours, but also the steepest decline in temperature. Yeah. Only issue I could see with it is I can't work right. Okay, I'm not gonna get into too many details. Dance belt is one way. I have these really fantastic, like, fleece-lined tights that are damn near pants. Or they're, okay, fleece-lined leggings designed to look like tights. And they keep my legs warm, and they do a lot of cool stuff for me as well, including, you know, manage my appearance in certain regards. Gotta hop out, have a lovely evening. Take care, thank you so much for coming. Is it okay to continue praying to the Lord for a while to make the estrogen give me some chest before I get Audi mandated bunny suit? I mean, sure. Mandated? That's only mandatory if you ask for me to mandate it. Would you like for me to mandate your bunny suit? Is that what you would like? That's the bigger question. You can pray to whoever you'd like. The issue is, do you want to be issued a mandated bunny suit? No judgment here, for the record. I very much understand. Hell, on some level, I resonate with it. So I shan't assign it unless you request it. That's my tease for the day. Oh, my ear is itchy. I've completely blanked. My brain is a pretzel. Wondering if I should take another break, but it hasn't been like a full hour or so yet. Bunny suit is yes. I'm determined that I want a horn now. I never did previously, but in the same way people get animal ears, I now want a dragon horn. Go for it. I'm taking splash damage. I see. See, this is the problem with certain things. Like, I'll make jokes about, like, oh, who would want that? And people go, oh, me, pick me. I want that. Me, please. Like, I can't even make a joke about force-femming AI tech bros without people being like, can I volunteer for that? It's not for me. My girl has been good. She deserves something nice on me. Ah, I see. Okay. I'm gonna make an executive decision. I will be right back. One moment, please. Boop, boop.
Night fly guy, baby, you feel the night. Open up, got you. Night fly guy, open up your frontiers. Need your fantasy. Night fly guy in the future time. Table high speed run, got you. Fly guy.
I'm back. Did you miss me? I think I ask that every time now. Okay, I do notice that things feel a little bit better now. Okay, boop. Hi, I'm back. Okay, what are we on about? I'm just broke, and I have to imagine a custom-made dragon horn would probably be a lot more expensive than just a simple pair of cat or bunny ears. Well, thank you, Spacey. And I mean, maybe so, but I do also think that the tools to create one's own might be cheaper than one might expect. It would take some time and research as well, and you'd still have to spend something, but I think you could probably do something pretty fantastic with, like, what's the stuff that people use for cosplay props, like Bondo or something? I heard custom-made dragon horn, and honestly, that sounds amazing. Honestly, dragon maids based. At least the concept. Okay. The concept of a dragon maid is amazing to me. I've got, I wasn't too crazy about the anime. Wasn't too wild about it. Couldn't that easily be done with 3D printing? One of my friends showed me a photo of them wearing a bunny suit, fishnet tights, and the demonia boots I want. I really want to dress like that. I hope you can soon. Honestly, I never thought I'd say this, but like, I think it's the... Realize what I was about to say. Let me phrase it differently. The aspect of wearing such things no longer feels scandalous to me. If anything, it just feels like, ooh, I could do that. I'm excited to wear things like bunny suits and, you know, like really ornate outfits like that. Carve it out of foam in segments. That's also possible, yeah. 3D printing, so you would need access to a 3D printer, which is expensive if there's no access. And then, you know, that assumes that there's a filament or whatever people might charge if it's not your own. It really depends. I'm eating string cheese also. I don't have access to a 3D printer, Lamel. It's my understanding that a few libraries might have one. I think a few of them are starting to work on that. I think that's such a cool idea. I do think they charge for it. It's like printing, where like they got to charge a little bit for the materials, but past that, I don't think it's a bad idea. My ear itches. Not in my town. Totally fair. Uni, college, or schools, maybe. Possibly, yeah. Universities are likely to have one, I think. Words are failing me again. I think I need to write a song like that. Words are failing me again. Chat, I have another question for you. Because I think we were talking about beach day and I didn't think about what we wanted to do that day. I think, yeah, before we get to the second question, let's talk about beach day. Is there anything that you would like to do? So we're talking about like building a sandcastle. I think not much different from what we would like to do, you know, on any other beach day, I guess. Look cute. Well, you know I'm already gonna do that. Stop. I'm happy I can actually show more skin without it being a spectacle or something to stare at. Crop tops are really comfy in the summer. I have a weird relationship with crop tops. I judge myself pretty hard for if I like how I look in something or not. And I've rocked some crop tops. I've also not rocked some crop tops. And, like, I want to wear them more often, but also I need to embrace the aesthetic of my body as it is right now on a level that I haven't done yet. Take a shovel to the beach. I mean, sure. I will also say, okay, strange as it might be for me to put it this way, the kind of attention and even to some extent objectification I experience is quite nice. I like the idea that someone can look at me and have their day improved for it. Maybe go buy a kite. Ooh, it's not a bad idea. Let me check the winds for where we're going tomorrow. It'll be the middle of the week too, so I feel like it'll be not very active, not very busy. All right, we're going there. weather. Look at that. Let's check the wind. Chance precipitation. Units. Yeah. How old was I the last time I flew a kite? Like 14. I think I was in Scouts of a nondescript variety. Doesn't look like it'll be too windy. Might be, but I'm not doing that with my head. Okay, whenever I look down, it thinks there's something on my head. So I want to test this theory. Okay. I think it has something to do with the headphones. Why did it move that one? Hydrate, that I can do. I think I'm gonna do the hydrate, and then I'll do a little bit of the Pei Pa Kwa as well. Ah. It is a bit ironic. I need to be very careful. That is quite a username. Goodness. Right. Okay, beach, things like that. I lost my train of thought. I've heard stuff like that being called euphoria. I think it depends though. Like, there's a difference between being called hot and someone being like, "Hey, babe, what time do your legs open?" You know, it's like, one is like, "Oh, gosh," and the other one's like, please, piss off." There is some. Hello? Unless you're wait, euphoria. Wait, are you talking about? Wait, I think I might be misunderstanding. Is that talking about like with others or with oneself? Ah, right. I think it was like in terms of objectification, right? There are contexts where I really do like attention. Obviously it needs to be respectful, but you know, if someone's like, "Hey, you know, just saw you over here, thought you were really attractive, would, you know, wanted to pop by, say hi, see how things are going." If someone's able to pull that off with me, oh my gosh. Woo! But, you know, I'll even say there can be, wow, my train of thought is just not staying with me. What the heck? I've had moments where things went really south, really bad. Like, I remember my friend and I were walking around town for a bit, and a truck started following us for a little while before driving off. And it's like, that's really scary, and that sucks. And on the same token, I was like, hey, I pass. There's also a very scary moment at the mall where I was very much, I felt very unsafe, but it was also like, oh, clearly I pass. My trans sister tried that once and dude responded that he was bi and would lick. Oh my gosh, yeah. I'm glad that you punched. That's punch worthy. Actually, I remember when I went out recently, like not recently, but you know, around late August. There was someone who sat to my side, and this guy thought that he was wingmanning for his friend, and he goes, hey, yeah, you should know that my friend here is like super bisexual, just super bi. And I just respond with like, okay, and proceeded to keep eating. It's like, what am I supposed to do with that? Is this supposed to be some, oh, be still my beating heart, a man that can look past my horrible deformities of, checks notes. Anyway, like, yeah, it's like, I don't care. Like, are you trying to make an appointment? Otherwise, it's not even my business. It's not even a pickup line. It's just stating a fact. It's like, okay, I am now within the probably several billion people that are in your dating pool. Congratulations. You did it. And don't get me wrong, please understand it. I do, like, bi people kick ass. The problem, there's no problem, like, the problem here is not with like, oh, he's bi. It's like, what's the point with that? Like, what am I supposed to do with that? Is that supposed to make me want to date this person more? Is it some concession to my being trans? That it's like, oh yeah, he'd like it whether or not you got a dick. It's like, really? That's kind of what I did, you know. It's like, oh, Cool. Okay. I've heard from some trans people trying to work out if the person is staring at them because they don't fully pass, or it's because the person is just being weird or horny. A little bit of both sometimes. No, it wasn't even I am bi. It's my buddy's bi. It's like, okay, how about how you say it? Neat. Does anyone know the cheapest way to get a package from the UK to the US? Sadly, I do not. So, I've talked about that experience with someone, and the problem was that, okay, there was someone that I was extremely excited to meet, and I got to meet them and hang out with them at a convention, and we started talking for a little bit, and we started talking about attention, because this person and I were starting to get kind of stared at for nature of, you know, whatever the situation was. And so they go, yeah, you know, like, whenever I get stared at, I'm never sure if it's someone who knows who I am. Do they not know who I am and they just think I'm pretty? You know, are they just being creepy? Are they just social awkward and they don't know? And I'm like, yeah, you know, I kind of get that. Like, for me, I have this added dimension of like, am I passing to them? Do I not pass and they're into that? Do I not pass and they're not into that? Are they planning my demise? And they go, wait, what do you pass? I'm not sure if I understand. This friend did not know, which is weird because I feel like I had brought it up to them before. And by the way, it was not any kind of like awful like gotcha or like, oh, you didn't know. I mean, chances are good looking back, I'm sure they knew, but they were super sweet about it. It could be that they forgot. That'd actually be quite lovely. I'm gonna have a little bit more of my paper claw. You know? Mm-hmm. Okay. Right. So, like, having that discussion of, like, that added dimension of being perceived a certain way. Because, like, I don't say this to suggest that I am in any way unattractive. I do believe that I'm actually quite pretty. I am learning to accept the compliments that people give me in that regard. I believe that there are details about me that make it evident to others that I didn't start this way. And I'll think of that bad. I think folks can react to that in very different ways, and they might stare out of virtue of like, what's up with, I don't know. Personally, I just wear cute, colorful clothes, so I know that people are just admiring my cute outfit. I want to make you feel, GLMD, that's so sweet. I'm buying some of those fake translucent winter tights. They look comfy and the inside is fluffy. Yes, they're so fluffy. I think I saw some brand on like TikTok for a while, and then I just got them on Amazon for far cheaper. But yeah, it's interesting because I like attention, but when I have it, I second guess it. It's like a shield for bad vibes. The more over the top your outfit is, the more confident you can be that people are staring for good reasons. I wouldn't necessarily say that it's always a dysphoria moment. Sometimes I know that I look good. And here's the thing, by the way. A lot of these situations, I don't equate looking visibly transitioned or transitioning as somehow not being attractive. Like, the way that I've heard it is like, the way that I would venture it in my head is like someone just like, oh yeah, you know, she's trans, she's pretty. Easy as. Like, I could be noticeably, you know, the way that I am, or the way that I perceive myself to be, and still attractive or cute or pretty or things like that. I guess that's just how I kind of piece it together in my head. So I think I need to keep that in mind when I have attention, because like, I can be hard on myself in the moment. Confidence is still one of those things I'm really working on because I had a lot of stuff to unpack. Neighbor who lives just right across the way from where I live once said, non-binary people are just trying to figure out who they are. That's why they're non-binary right now. I see. I don't know. That's relatable. That's fair. But yeah, like, I guess that's one of those things where I'd probably get a lot better with it if I just put myself together more and went out more and just stopped caring so damn much about how I look and just exist comfortably. I think part of it for me is also there are mannerisms and behaviors that I want to correct still. Yes, even 3 years in, my walk is... The way that I see my walk conveys to me things that I don't want to convey. My walk does not invalidate who I am, but in my case, it communicates differently from what I want to communicate. Once I transition, I'm not going to hide that I'm trans, but I'm also not going to announce it either. If someone asks, I won't hide it. I've had certain relationships with like how openly trans I am. I do talk about it often enough because I think it is one of those matters that people have questions about or concerns about, or it does affect my day-to-day life. But also, I feel like I hope I've done a pretty good job of like balancing that with like Eurobeat and gaming and other VTubers, and you know that I guess that I have done a good job of neither hiding it nor perchance risking not talking about other things. It's starting to dawn on me that I am more insecure than I thought. You know, sometimes you just gotta call yourself out on that. I think I've become more insecure. I'm gonna have some string cheese about it. I don't know, I've thought about that with my Eurobeat work too. There are certain kinds of songs I haven't done after I've come out, and it's like, oh, I should do that. I'd love to do another song like One For Me. I apparently passed way better than I thought. I mentioned I'm trans, people are like, wait, you're trans? Yeah. I think, okay, the internet does a really good job of lying to us that people give a shit. Like, that people... The internet does a really good job of convincing us that people go around to bathrooms going like, what's in your pants? Show me what's between your legs. Most people don't care. Most people, it's just like, oh, okay, well. Some people are like, oh, never would have guessed. You're like, oh, okay. Like, most people, it's like, okay. It's like the guy that was trying to wing for his buddy. It's like, oh, his buddy's like, okay. It's not to say that it's like, it's not always sure what people should do with it, right? Another Ody stream talking about, I do this pretty often. I've never once been accosted in a bathroom, honestly feeling let down. Don't wish it on yourself. Like, just claim that. Don't be let down. How do I say? I feel like, unfortunately, people that do are really vocal about it. Yeah, they need to get a personality. They need to stop being so obsessed about something like that, you know? I have been accosted, just not in a bathroom. I found you through Eurobeat first, mainly the surprise of realizing that my 3 favorite Eurobeat artists were the same gal. I think I saw a Reddit post to that effect some years ago. I'm honored about that, honestly. Hello? I'm not doing that with my hand. We're in the last few minutes of stream. Time flies when I yap. Sorry. Real quick. Do y'all have any questions, comments, remarks, redemptions? There's a theater in my city where the toilets are so inadequate that during intermission, the men's room turns into the urinal and whoever stalls room. That honestly makes sense. I feel like bathrooms should just be like toilets and a handful of urinals. You know, just more bathroom. Anytime I think of anyone getting caught in the bathroom and they get asked, I think of the character from Venture Brothers who is born female as female but has a deep voice. Yeah. Cis, like, women can have deep voices. Men can have high ones. NBs can have whatever hell kind of voice you want, damn it. Pick and choose if you must. I don't know, it's like, I think most people actually don't care. And that's it. It's not in any kind of bad way. It's not like, oh, just apathy for general, you know, for other human beings. It's just like, oh, okay, yeah, that doesn't really affect me. So, you know, good on you. Bathrooms and stuff. Like, I guess I just haven't really thought with that. Most people are busy with their own lives, and that's good. Yeah, exactly. I would go so far as to say most people don't even remember trans folks exist on a daily basis, for better or for worse. I suppose so. I never liked using public bathrooms, but I think that has always just been dysphoria before I knew what it was. I mean, a lot of people, listen, one thing that I notice, a lot of people forget that listen, it's conspiracy, okay? Every modern house has a multi-gender bathroom built in. Oh! The agenda is already well underway! It's people just need a place to take care of their business. In your house. Oh! Sorry. The thing I don't like is when they have a male, female, and then all-purpose bathroom, because we all know what that is saying, don't we? I suppose so, yeah. As someone who is very new to transitioning, basically only my online presence due to issues with ID changing costs, looking for a new job, and nerves with talking to parents. Can I consider myself valid as I'm still yet to really transition? I'm pausing the music for this. Absolutely. You are valid by virtue of asking yourself questions in the first place. The fact that you have some sense of yourself. You would be valid if you never touched a hormone. If you never came out. I mean, okay. Communicating who you are with those in your life is good. And if you want those in your life to regard you a certain way, then that becomes a necessary discussion. And I hope that those that you have that discussion with are receptive and kind and understanding. You are worthy of that kind of thing. But you are valid, exactly, you're valid for being yourself. You are valid by virtue of existing and having determined that you are in fact trans. I think the fact that it seems like, you know, only my online presence due to issues with ID changing costs, that still means that you are putting some effort into social transition. Please do remember that there are multiple forms of transition. There is medical transition, which is, you know, hormones and whatever we do to change our appearances and our expressions and things like that. And then there is social. How do I say? Medical transition happens physically. Social transition happens elsewhere. You changing your online identity and the way that you interact with people, that is still transition. That is still part of asserting your identity as yourself, as you. And that is still extremely valid. Social transition is how you are perceived. I think that's only part of it. I think I might have misspoken earlier with a point to that. It's how you communicate yourself, whether that communication is successful or otherwise. If they, like... I'm trying to choose my words carefully because I feel like I run the risk of entering into ignorant stances on the matter. No one owes anyone. How do I say? In my case, I do not owe anyone femininity. in order for them to know and respect that I am a trans woman. However, if I make it known to them that I am, then it stands to reason that I have communicated that with them and that the reasonable approach is to refer to me that way. That does not mean that you are required to tell everyone forever and ever and come out to everyone. It's not everyone's business. And I also don't want to suggest that transition demands outing yourself. That can be very unsafe and unhealthy. I'm trying to choose my words carefully. I want to make sure that I do not present something potentially very harmful. You're valid as you are. Before any communication, before any of that, you're valid. You are you. That is a closed book. What we do to find our place in the world stems from that, if that makes sense. I love Cinder's emotes. They're so cute. I hope that I'm communicating this right. I worry that I'm accidentally spouting some harmful rhetoric. Like I said, I don't think I've said this. Like I'm not an expert. I'm not authoritative on the subject. I have my experiences and what little I've been able to retain and learn. Because thinking is hard, and gender is something a lot of people have to think about, you know? You're doing fine. You're communicating it pretty well, as much as you can do it. Okay, thank you. Good. I'm relieved. Why can't my hair grow quicker? It grows quite quick. I'm just annoyed it isn't shoulder length in less than a month. It is ironic, actually. I have a hair appointment on Thursday, and going to the beach on Wednesday is going to mess it up. Wednesday night, I'm definitely going to need to, do a good shampoo and condition session. Okay, hang on one sec. We're down in the last few minutes, by the way. Technically, I should be done. Any last questions, comments, remarks, redemptions? What's on your minds? What's on your hearts? Yeah. Aw, thank you. Yeah, anything? Questions, comments, remarks, redemptions? I see redemptions are coming in. Aw, that's a cute emote too. Don't worry, it only gets slower as it gets longer. That makes sense. Kind of tempted to try and grow my hair out to butt length, but I also feel like it would be a pain. There is a downside to long hair, and I've been learning it. Are you excited for / gonna play Infinity Nikki when it comes out? Is it out? Will it be out for PCs, or is it just on? I think it's just on PS5, right? I think so. Infinity. I think that's Nikki. Wink. It's been a little bit since I've done a wink. All right. There we go. Hydrate. That I can do. Okay. I love growing out my hair, but oh buddy, do I get misgendered a ton when it gets longer than shoulder length. I'm just thinking about how long it's been, about how it's been 1 year since figuring out I was trans. Crackiversary, I guess. A lot's changed, but it's been worth it. That's good. I'm glad it's been worth it. Okay. Infinity Nikki. PlayStation 5, Android, iOS, Microsoft Windows. I'd be down to play it on my phone. Cause like for those who don't know, I was a pretty big fan of, I forget the exact Nikki title, Love Nikki. And to find that they made such a big game called Infinity Nikki that's apparently being well received. I want to play it. I would like to play it. I think, so there was Nikki Up to You, Love Nikki, Shining Nikki, and now Infinity Nikki. It's so pretty, you should play with me as recovering Love Nikki addicts. For those who don't know, by the way, Love Nikki, and I think the games before it and around that time, Bartender Avatar Odyssey when? Not against the idea. So the series that I've known is essentially a combat dress-up game. Like, you have all these outfits, right? But the outfits have stats, and you have recommended suits, and then outside of that, you have Hello Nikki between Nikki Up to You and Love Nikki. Ah, okay. But which one? Where did Shining Nikki fit? Was Shining Nikki 4? So they were essentially combat dress-up games. And the problem is, some of those were also gacha. Shining Nikki is the most recent until Infinity comes out. I want to play Infinity, not gonna lie. I fell sucker for Love Nikki because, okay, the game itself it's combat outfits, really, but I'm gonna pause the music for this because, like, everything else about the game experience is really pretty. Like, even the mobile game where it was just dress up, like, the outfits look good, the artwork is really good, the music is really pretty, the worlds that they design are actually really good. I'm gonna say goodnight to everyone because I gotta get up to travel tomorrow, so good night, Mom. Aw, take care, Lexi. Thank you so much for popping in. I'm about to wrap up pretty soon. We can raid. It has photo mode. That's so detailed where you can pose the different. Ooh, that sounds so fun. All right. I have stuck around long enough. I need to rest my voice and do a few other things. So let's figure out who to raid. I see Matara Khan. I see Techie. I see Alpharad, I see D-Tune, I see Taiga, I see Pumpkin Potion, I see Pastaroni Ravioli, I see Alexandria, I see Morgana, Ratsukare, Big Ham, IRL Donut, Robin Sashko, I see... Oh. I don't think it would be good for me to raid that one. Not that they're bad. I think they might just want a more peaceful streaming atmosphere. Tommy's online. Yeah, I wouldn't be against raiding. It's been a while since we've raided Tommy, hasn't it? Yeah, let's raid Tommy. Hello, Lady of the Moonlit Mist. I'm so sorry, we're just about to wrap up, but tomorrow I'll be doing an IRL stream. So, be sure to pop in for that. All right, friends. I'm gonna pause the music so I can do my vocal freebie that I forgot to do yesterday. I think I'll do it in English this time. Welcome back, darling. Would you like dinner? Would you like a bath? Or would you like me? And on that note, let's go ahead and raid. Raid. Oh yeah, I think I need the raid message. Thank you so much for being on that, Pixie. All right, if you are a subscriber, please use that emote. If you're not a subscriber, don't worry. Any heart will do the trick. Let's go ahead and raid. Tommy is online, who appears to be playing Roblox with Yay Bay. I will see you tomorrow. Until then, bye-bye for now. Let's get to see. Raid Tommy's online. Let's go! Oh, let me take care of a couple things here. Couple things to know about Tommy. Tommy's streaming Roblox with the AJ Bay. If I'm not mistaken, does Tommy use they them? I want to make sure that I get that right. I think I've got a little bit of time. They, she. Okay, yeah. Tommy's amazing. Tommy uses they, she. Just keep that in mind. Tommy's amazing. Let's go raid them. Until then, I'm Odyssey, your beat. Signing out. Bye-bye.